Is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 just as good as Tenkaichi 2? Now, these two are the sequels of the greatest 3D anime games in history. If you didn't know, the first Ultimate Ninja Storm actually played off of Ultimate Ninja for the PS2. But Tenkaichi 2 was one of the most epic video games known to mankind. Also had a counterpart, if you didn't know, that was called the Budokai series. So let's start off with a critique of the first one. The first Ultimate Ninja Storm had major gameplay. You can walk on walls. We had a handful of characters, but with amazing gameplay with those characters. I specifically loved the Part 1 characters more than the second Ultimate Ninja Storm, so as the continuation as the series goes, Storm 2 has way more characters. However, I believe in their status, but there is a continuation from 1 to 2. A fun fact that you didn't know about the original Storm is that you can actually teleport close to them and the Ultimate Special, so what the second one did was it enhanced in terms of online play. Because the first one really was more gameplay heavy, that's why when you hit them with the Ultimate Special, there's buttons they couldn't do the same online. What they could do was go further in depth with Shippuden. In their series, like the boss fights were way better. The characters still had interesting movesets. But what made the next one was definitely the new supports that came with Deidara and Orochimaru. My main team back in the day was Shikamaru, Deidara, and Orochimaru. Online, I was a savage, I was ranked 7,000 in the world. The story mode for Storm 2 goes like this. It starts off for episode 1 of Shippuden. Naruto first meets the village all the way down to the Arc of Pain, and it has, kinda interesting dialogue. A little bit more severe than most anime games because Storm 2 literally has a really big story mode. Now, the Giants of Storm 1 I believe were better, but overall gameplay I have to say the Storm 2 story mode is, surprisingly menacing. Because Pain being almighty, push users really make him one of the biggest threats online. We did know the difference between Storm 1 and Storm 2 literally is that the gameplay is more enhanced than the first one, but the overall, maneuverability, Sasuke the King, etc. better than Storm 2 is definitely a second one. The gameplay, there's not much focus on it, but the amount of characters and amount of things that you can do. Definitely a continuation, that's the thing you have to understand. So both these games are made by Bankai and Dynamically, I'm sorry. I always punched the lights out when it came to Ultimate Ninja Storm, especially when Team Taki came out with Sugetsu. The thing about Storm 2 that made it very impactful is that people were watching, the anime side by side as the video game came out. Different versions of Sasuke really got you into the series. My favorite version of Sasuke is Taka Sasuke, the one where he fought Killer Bee. They may not have the punches like they had in Storm 1, but they have the flexibility of characters like they have Karen, who's easy to hit with. Chio is easy to mess around with, and Killer Bee, the one who's thrifty and deadly as well. So that Cyrus is a big, addition to their character roster. It's the first video game where it introduces spammers. Naruto Storm 2 had oblivious spammers. Tenkaichi might have been a good game, but Tenkaichi fortunately did not have online play. I had a friend came over, Lily, he talked about how Storm was a pick up and play game. You need to get to better fight games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Because determining who's the best ranked their war based off these games is a silly principle, because you have to be insane. For the game mechanics change over time for each and every one, that includes generations. On the lines of Tenkaichi 2, let's ask a question, is it addicting? At the time it was the highest anime out at the time, so everybody wanted to be the best. Addicting is subjective for this video. For me, it was very addicting, but not to the point where it was unhealthy, because I was still going to school, but it was addicting in the form of, I'll be at best so I catch them all like Pokemon. Also, a good addition to the Naruto Storm series, as a whole continuity, is Lars from Tekken, which displayed, a unique form of aerial combat. So in other words, Naruto Storm 2 was definitely a continuation of the Storm series, because you got to play as the whole Akatsuki, including Hidan. And what you have to understand about these two games and why I compared them, because these two games were the heaviest, hard-hitting anime 3D fighting games of the early 2000s, with the best melee combat. Nothing was better than these two games. What Tenkaichi did was to bring gameplay to a wide, worldwide, for nerds and family. Naruto Storm 2 did was it continued the series like Lily, since it was the only one 3D gameplay. This is going to be a next Tenkaichi 2, we're excited. That's where we played it for a long ass time. Their races compared to Tenkaichi 3 was ass. I have to say, I love growing up with my boy Sasuke growing up, along with Naruto, Saints Mode Naruto. Outside their commercial that made us lose our cereal box. DBZ Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Naruto 3, literally that was one of the best Dragon Ball Z games of all time. Had the best soundtrack of any DBZ Budokai. The story mode had the most detail. I argued with somebody on the bus about this. Tenkaichi 2 was an onslaught. It was way better than any Naruto Storm game. It was addicting, had too many characters that had too many feels. Each grab was known for its own unique shit. Basically, these are the games of the generation. Now when it comes to Tenkaichi 2, it also has the story mode, That's an upgrade compared to the first one. The first one actually had a beatdown by beatdown, point-by-point framing that really reenacted the theme of the show. I even recalled a quote from my brother in the storyboard saying, "Damn, I can't beat Frieza, fuck." It's also but Tenkaichi 2 was better. But Tenkaichi 1 is that it still had the iconic characters like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Super 17. I swear, when that commercial came out, everybody wanted to be Bardock. But when it was an imitation, it was unhealthy. Tenkaichi 2, literally every single story mode is broken down, including the movies from turtless all the way to cooler. The music and everything intertwined really gets you into the series. However, the best part about Tenkaichi 2 is gameplay. You can play as every single character, including the GT characters. This is back when CPUs were challenging, but Storm 2, the CPU isn't that challenging. And Storm 1, they actually had a level called Insane. This is the thing where it came down to the 2010s. It came to online play, you couldn't use the CPU to get better. It was a buzzkill, it was a real buzzkill, but Tenkaichi 2 was anything but a buzzkill. Futuristic characters from Bardock all the way to Zanya, Bozak's story. The filler Two Brothers literally was one of my favorite anime fillers of all time. Tenkaichi 2 is my favorite game of all time. It had this lackluster story mode that wasn't even funny. And what you didn't know about this video is that they both had the Mega Punch, this cheap supersonic game around fighting anime. But still, 2 had competitive gameplay, outweighed all of them. The current shit that is Sparky Zero can't replace that. When we go in depth, most sequel games of anime get killed by Tenkaichi 2. Only from cast of characters, same CPU, story mode where it came to anime games, it can't be beaten. Well, when people started Dick Ryan 3, I started hating it. It only had characters, only 2 had the feels. My top picks were Ultimate Gohan, Kid Goku. That's the crazy thing about Jubas in both of them. But 2 really puts emphasis on shit. It was fun and it was an overall fighting games. If you actually know about the mechanics, they have too many mechanics. The point where you can switch the buttons to actually feel safe. It was too straightforward when it came to an anime fighting game. Bond's level and Raditz level were great parts. Tenkaichi 2 was an enjoyable game for the memory card. Even Gohan Super Saiyan 2 Kamehameha. We even have Mercenary Tao, General Pai, the robot form in Tenkaichi 2. Have each and every part of the story hing with dialogue. Now, at times they may improvise. What happens when you make a good video game? Count 9 times out of 10 constantly. The point where there's an after image. What's crazy about this game came around time, GT came out back when it was still on Dynamically, it was still with the anime hype. The final part of the storyboard though is really good. That included Dark Half, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Goku fusing in order to beat Omega Shenron. MZ BT2 is the best anime fighting game of all time. Now it's time for the topic for this video. It's the lesson where top is a no-brainer. Was Storm 2 better than Tenkaichi 2? Hell no, by milestones for what I mean. Was it a better continuation? Not by light years. What did it do? It expanded the franchise. See, that's the thing about a video game. Does it expand the franchise? Like most of these franchises was already big. It introduced you to online play, but also introduced you to douchebags online that was spamming the same move. They really like to look through mods like Dragon Ball, Sparky Zero mod, literally a whole modding, anime community. They get layers and say that they did a whole bunch of transitioning and forgot that it was a Japanese cartoon game. The anime community will want to make opinions reality, not short loss from Tenkaichi 2. But Naruto Storm 2 is up to par, literally where it came down to the time. Literally, this is the time of the generation. If you look at it at a tournament standpoint, Naruto Storm 2 is his shit. Continue for the Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 2 series. So it was heavily beloved where it came to 3D gameplay. So almost due to Tenkaichi where it came to it feels. Where it came down to it, Tenkaichi 2 was a monster, literally, and Storm 2 was a demon. 2 story modes were 2 fucking cut, and the overall business was 2. And page in order to pick the 2 for this video, even though of course it's T2. Storm 2 expanded the anime franchises, literally got everybody into anime. Basically, the Storm 2, bring on Tenkaichi 2's legacy. I'd have to say, hell yeah, at least this has been there back in the day. We were different, literally, that's when anime games first got intense. This is when they started making booty games like J. And when they wanted to repeat, the anime games with Jump Force, it was lackluster. That's all I have to say for this video.